Hey guys, what's up? Jared here, and this is gonna be my opinions or thoughts of Nintendo's what I thought was gonna be a press conference, but this is Nintendo's E3 2015 digital preview or digital event, I think is what they called it. So it was all pre-recorded. They had interviews, like Reggie was interviewing the different developers from each game, uh, and it was kind of like a well. In my notes, I have infomercial, but really it wasn't much like an infomercial at all. Um, so it was definitely different watching it, and I would have probably preferred more of a press conference version. But anyways, and I also should say that I'm not that big of a Nintendo fan. I've never owned a Nintendo console, and I haven't played too many Nintendo games. I've played some Mario stuff, um, and I've really not played any much more than maybe Mario. I mean, there's probably some other stuff, but it's not coming to my mind. But anyways, the first thing they announced was Star Fox. I know Star Fox was a really popular game, but it's going to be Star Fox Zero. So they're going to be releasing that sometime. So this is, I should just say, this is going to be almost more of just a report of what they announced here, more than my opinions. Because I don't have much of an opinion on Nintendo stuff. I just don't really care for most of the games that they produce, so I just don't really take much of an interest. I mean, I like to see what's going on with the company, but it doesn't go far beyond that. So, one thing, though, that I do kind of have an opinion on is they did talk about the NX, but they did not release any other news about the NX. Other than that, there's going to be more revealed next year. So Nintendo's and the good thing about this is that they are going to try, I think, to live out the lifespan of the Wii U and continue to support it, rather than just doing what was done with the Dreamcast or whatever, or maybe it was the Sega Saturn. I think it was Dreamcast. Okay, I wasn't alive back then, but anyways, so the NX, they're not gonna. It doesn't seem like they're gonna just release it to replace the Wii U, and so far they didn't reveal any more about it, so we're not sure if it really is too much. Like, I know there was a lot of talk about it being like maybe just a mobile thing or whatever, but anyways, so this one is kind of cool. They had Mario Bros, or Super Mario Maker is what it's called. It's coming out September 11. And what it is it allows you to create your own Mario levels and share them with the community for other people to play them. So I think that's really nice, and I think a level creator like that works very well with a game like Mario, like in that format. So it seems like it would be very easy, and I think a lot of Mario fans are going to like that. And really, a lot of these like Mario Party games or Mario Kart and all these just other Mario games, it seems it's very repetitive. And I know a lot of people say like, oh, well, why does Nintendo keep rehashing the same stuff? Well, it's because consumers are still buying it. So Nintendo fans are willing to essentially play the game for 10 years. I mean, I'm not knocking them for that, but I'm just saying it's something that I wouldn't do, and I think there needs to be some innovation. So I think this is a good way to innovate. It brings something fresh to the table. It's still the same concepts, but it kind of, gives it a breath of fresh air, and allows, players to actually create the levels that they want to create and share with friends. So they ended up also talking about the secret to Nintendo's longevity. Reggie was talking about this, and they said it was like basically transformation and adapting their games to, the changing times and all that stuff, and essentially innovating, which it seemed very odd to me that he made that statement, because of the fact that Nintendo doesn't really innovate that much. But I think in light of the Mario Maker thing, Super Mario Maker, I think Nintendo is starting to get the idea and maybe starting to innovate in their games. So that'll be a nice new change. They also talked about some of these amiibos, which actually I think they're Skylanders, but they can transform. They have a switch on the bottom where you can switch them between amiibo or Skylanders. So they're like a combination amiibo, and you can use them. I think they're actually a Skylander, but you can use them in Nintendo games as amiibos. So that was kind of interesting. And then there was a bunch of Zelda stuff. It was Triforce Heroes, which is coming out Q1 of 2016. And then that was they didn't announce anything about the new Legend of Zelda game or the upcoming Legend of Zelda game. So that's probably I'm thinking going to be a late 2016 release date or maybe even an early 2017 release date. Then they talked about Hyrule Warriors, which I can't remember too much of what that one was about. It almost seemed like that one might have been somewhat interesting, or else that was like the really weird Japanese. No, that was not that really weird one. But also Metroid Prime Federation Force is coming out on the 3DS, and I know people would like a remake of Metroid Prime, like another thing in the series, but this seemed to be kind of just like it was very low graphics, and I don't really think it was. It might have actually been a previous game, just basically ported directly over to the 3DS. But anyways, there's also a game called Fire Emblem Fates, or whatever, or it wasn't even a game. There was the other thing, but Fire Emblem, or there was also Atlas or whatever. I don't know. I was confused by this next section. Anyways, art style on some of it looked it looked fairly good, and it's apparently coming out 2016. But if I'm not getting these confused, it's some weird game. There's like these Japanese girls like singing and dancing and everything. I couldn't, and everything was in Japanese. I don't think there was any subtitles. It just confused the crap out of me. I had no clue what was going on. I'm like, is this even a game? Like, what is this? But like, you guys should check it out if you're. I don't know. I guess if you're into a lot of Japanese stuff, maybe it's up your alley. But to me, I have no interest in it. I have no clue what it was. I can't really tell you much about it. It was honestly pretty funny though. But anyways, so then they also announced Xenoblade Chronicles, Chronicles X, and it's coming out December 4th, 2015. And I gotta say, this is probably the most intriguing thing that intrigued me as a non-Nintendo fan as part of the press conference. It was very, or not press conference, but anyways, as part of their presentation. It kind of was. I know it's a game that a lot of people like that are Nintendo fans, and it's kind of for like I guess geared towards a more mature audience. But to me, it's kind of like Halo a lot, and I don't even play that much Halo, but it was very much like Halo and everything. It's kind of like space and stuff, spaceships and everything, but it actually looks pretty cool. And you know, if there was more stuff from Nintendo, I would definitely pick up a Wii U or whatever it's on and actually play it. But really, there's just not enough there for me to justify me buying a Wii U. And then they had Animal Crossing, which is like a really kid-friendly game where it was all about Animal Crossing and everything. The animals were talking to each other. Anyways, that's coming out September 25. And then there's also Amiibo Festival, which is holiday 2015. So, yeah. And this is another interesting thing that this is pretty much one of their last things they talked about, but it was Yoshi's Woolly World, and it's essentially Yarn Ball Yoshi. And all of the other things. You can even import like Mario characters, so it'd be like Mario Yoshi. So it's like Yoshi, but he's got the colors and the dress like Mario. So that was interesting. But the game actually looked pretty good. So that's probably the second best thing I think to come out of this Nintendo presentation, and that's coming out October 16. It's very much kind of like I guess what Nintendo's version would be of Little Big Planet. That's probably the best way to describe it. And then I have something down here about Mario game design, and I have no clue what that was about. But anyways, so that pretty much wraps up Nintendo's thing for you. It wasn't like absolutely terrible, but I would have preferred more of a press conference format, and I wasn't really too impressed. Yet I'm not a very big Nintendo fan, but just even coming from a more objective standpoint, there wasn't a lot of really like any good information, useful information that I could build off of there. There was, with the exception, as I said, of maybe the Super Mario Maker, the Amiibo thing, I guess Xenoblade, and then Yoshi's Woolly World. But other than that, it was just really mediocre stuff. So I would give Nintendo probably a C+ for this year. Maybe a B-, but I think I'll go with a C+. But I haven't really watched theirs in last year, and I'll definitely watch it in the coming years though, and we'll see how they do compared to how they did this year. So thank you guys for watching. If you liked it, leave a like, comment, favorite, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.